Do you think this time's NEET calls for a retest?
No retest required.
Is AIMS better than GMCH?
At the moment, on certain aspects, we may be good. On certain aspects, they may be good.
30 years of life in the army.
Yeah.
How do you see that different from a civilian's life?
Attributes which you develop in army, which really doesn't happen in the civil, and it gets into your blood, and it then you can't really be surviving without those things.
Welcome to another episode of Guwahati Connection, and here I am today at the beautifully large campus of AIIMS Guwahati. Today, my guest is Professor Dr Ashok Puranik. Dr Puranik is the Executive Director of AIIMS Guwahati. However, before he came here and took charge over the past 2 years, he was associated with AIIMS Jodhpur in various capacities. As the country today battles with NEET and the future of about 24 lakh aspirants, we thought that his presence as the guest would make the most sense. We speak to him about NEET, about examination reforms. We speak to him about the future of AIIMS Guwahati and healthcare in the Northeast. Join me on the next few minutes, at least the next few minutes that we have a conversation with him as we delve deeper into AIIMS Guwahati and the future of healthcare and medicine in Guwahati. All right, sir, welcome to the show. For your time and for your space and for your patience, I really appreciate. Before we get started on the show, like I said, our show is called Guwahati Connection. I would love to hear from you आपके Guwahati Connection के बारे में, sir.
Thank you, Siddharth, for giving me this opportunity to express myself. And I think this is a great opportunity to tell the people of Guwahati that who I am and what I do, where I have been. And I'm sure many people must be curious about it. I'm not new to the Guwahati. And I think I have very deep-rooted connections right from my young age. And this is my third posting to the Guwahati. I have served this sector earlier, and I came here in 1986 as a young medical officer, stayed nearby a tea garden area called Thakurbari near Rangapara North Railway Station, which is near Misamari, Kant, very near to Tejpur. And one can, while going to the Arunachal, I think you all pass through that particular place. So that was my first exposure as a young medical officer, and those days there was a lot of political turmoil in Northeast. Ulfa was coming up. There was Naga insurgency. Oprakchak was going on from the army. Chinese were troubling us in Somdarangchu. And if somebody believes me, I have crossed those mountains from Assam to Arunachal by foot twice, up to the Chinese border, because those days army was put on high alert, and I was with the infantry as a medical officer. So I have to walk along with them, along with my sleeping bag on my back, and we used to walk for 10 days, even many times. That's called long range patrol. And the second chance came again when I became a surgeon. My first posting was again to the Northeast. Of course, that was not Assam, but it was Nagaland. Near Kohima, there is a place called Jakhama where we have a 200-bedded hospital there. So I was a young surgeon there. And that time, in 92 to 95 time, during the year 92 to 95, there was a lot of Naga insurgencies, and they used to, a lot of gunshot wounds cases I managed in that particular hospital, beside road traffic accidents. Even I carried on deliveries and cesareans. So it was really challenging. A lot of Assam rifle people were nearby, and their families had a gynecological problem. Though I was a surgeon, but I was looking after those gynecological problems also. Then I gave cover to the Manipur hospitals also. Many times our surgeons go on leave, and then I was a replacement. Like in army, it happens so that wherever you're required, you are sent over there. So again, 92 to 95. Then in 1999, again, 1998, there was another ambulance train was running on the 50th Independence Day occasion, a long train route was planned to cover all the ex-servicemen in the far-flung areas. So we were living on the train for 3 months. We were eating on the train, sleeping on the train, running our hospital from the train. So we were in the platforms and giving services to those ex-servicemen and family. So again, during that particular period, I came as a young surgeon again. That was my third exposure. So
Third time you've called yourself a young surgeon.
yeah, I think if somebody has not completed more than 10 years or so, he'll be called as a young surgeon. I did my surgery in 1992. So it was within the 10 years time. So that was a short, brief stint in that ambulance train. That was the longest ambulance train running in the history. It has got a mention in the Guinness Book of World Record. And I happens to be one of those participating surgeon, you can say. So this is I never knew that one day I'll become a director and I have to come back again to serve the Northeast people to the Guwahati. So I have been in and out from Brahmaputra so many times, to the Kamakhya temple multiple times. So I'm not new to the Guwahati. And I love Guwahati, the weather, the people, the culture. So I'm into it. I really do not know. My heart says probably I will have another tenure in future if I'm active and working, if I contribute into the field of medicine, maybe to the communities in some kind of other role might come in the future. That's what my heart says.
And how did you figure out a route into medical services? How did that happen? And do you have family background? जो आर्मी में पहले थे?
Right from the childhood, all the seeds to your young brain is sown by our grandparents, our parents. They say, and they see your potentials even in the childhood. I think every child should be encouraged to,
join the armed forces?
No. Like, they should be offered, should be shown all the images and potential what they can become. You can become a good athlete, you can become a good doctor, good engineer, good aviator, whatever maybe. So I used to accompany my grandpa for his daily markets, buying vegetables and all that thing. So he used to say, son, I'll make you a doctor and you will become a doctor, like that. So when I was in a high school, there were in my neighboring area, a lot of students were preparing for the medical. And though I was 2 years behind them, I used to read there just out of curiosity. I used to see what kind of questions they are solving, what kind of subject and syllabus they are reading. And I said, okay, I can do that. That was the kind of a confidence I carried during my school days. And soon I find myself getting selected to the medical entrance. So that's how I became doctor. But my one of the uncle was in army, and I went to him after doing my graduation, and he asked, what you want to do after the graduation? I said, I will join those state services. And he said, it is much better life and much better prospects and future in the army. So probably I think that hit me, and I joined army. And since then, there has been no looking back. I have been continuously improving, adding to my skills and the education. I did my surgery in 1992 from Armed Force Medical College, Pune. And then I told you that as a first posting, I came to Nagaland. And then I have been all around India, the place called Sagar, a place called Pathankot in Punjab. Then from there, I went to Delhi. And from Delhi, I took 2 years of study leave because I wanted to upgrade myself and to become a super specialist. So since I was already witnessing a lot of trauma deaths, I went for my advanced trauma training course in Australia, where I worked in a public hospital for 2 years as a mid-level fellow over there, and learned art of trauma surgery, art of saving the life. It's just like making yourself a magician to save a life. That's what I describe a trauma surgeon who are really expert, who could really sense that what's going wrong in human body and what can kill him and what surgery or the procedure requires at that particular moment to save the limb or life. So that particular art I really was yearning to learn. That's why I went to Australia, spent my 2 years dedicated into trauma training. When I came back, I was posted to a place called Jalandhar. Then from there, I went to Udhampur again. And then I used to go to Leh, Kargil on temporary duties. So you name a place in India and cantonments where I have done my stint of duties and temporary duties, but a lot of long permanent duties also. And I kept on taking challenging cases in surgery. Then lastly, I was posted from 2011 to 2016 in Command Hospital, Pune, as a unit head in surgery. Then I became a professor, recognized as a professor by Armed Forces Medical College there. So I had a dual role of, the academician, surgeon, and the clinical surgeon also. So that's that's the time I became a professor in Pune. So when I left Army in 2016, I joined. Though I had a lot of options in my life to join private practices, open your own clinic, or things like that, or move abroad, but I chose to join. Since I came from Army, I thought some government service will be still a better to serve the nation. So I joined All India Institute of Medical Sciences, Jodhpur, where being a senior surgeon and senior person from the Army, I was given a lot of responsibility managing trauma department, plastics, oncosurgery, gastroenterology, and general surgery, because the institute was coming up that particular time. So right from the first batch of MBBS pass outs to setting up post graduation and postgraduate student, starting MCH in trauma courses and other subjects. So those 6 years was a good association with All India Institute of Medical Sciences, their culture, their ethos, their research capabilities, because AIIMS are known for a combination of academicians.
I'll interrupt, sir. We'll get to the details of AIIMS, of course, but before that, I still want our viewers to know you better.
Okay.
30 years of life in the Army.
Yeah.
How do you see that different from a civilian's life?
Okay. So when you are in Army, you are taught about loyalty, discipline, dedication, being in time, being in the place where you're required, your responsibilities. So practically you carry your the responsibility of your nation, your army, your family, about yourself on your shoulder. So you wear everything on your sleeve, and you are you become obedient or to your seniors, and whatever job assigned to you, you are supposed to do it. So there is always a kind of a bag full of activities you are supposed to perform, and you cannot falter that. So that makes a lot of difference, and it gets into your inside mind that you are a responsible person, you have to perform this. So there is a sense of duty that's very, very like you have to be there at 8 o'clock means 8 o'clock. So I think discipline, at the same time you have to maintain your loyalty and the integrity. So there is multiple combination of attributes which you develop in army, which really doesn't happen in the civil, and it gets into your blood, and then you can't really be surviving without those things.
One last question, perhaps, in the army about the armed forces. Do you think that in India, upper middle class and middle class people do not see the charm of the army life? For example, you mentioned that you grew up seeing the charm of army. People told you about it. Your family told you. Do you think army ka charm nahi dikhta hai logon ko?
I think since we are a very huge democratic country, people are really, I think, still not, probably they have seen the cantonment from the distance. They have not seen probably we have the army of 1 million people only, but we are 1.4 billion people. So there are very few people who are in the army, and whatever number of people are required, they are there. But it has always been kind of it's a dictum that the politics runs the nation, and army protects the nation, so the duty is different that way. So if you'll find a great difference if you enter to any cantonment, the way the roads are maintained, the greenery, the plantation, the environmental care, and everything looks so organized. So army is a very organized a place, which really, unless people live in there, nobody will understand that. I find there are chaotic things in when you come out from the cantonment, you find things chaotic. It looks chaotic. That's how we are. That's how the world are, But army, certainly, it has its own kind of traditions, outlook, maintenance, and everything is different, I must say. So the lower middle class or upper middle class people who joins army, they certainly class apart and they have a definite role in the kind of a nation building, and this is the society as a whole. We are responsible to maintain our nation's integrity and the security and the safety. So yes, I don't come from nowhere, but from those population only. So many of us represent our country. We get an opportunity to serve the nation, and you are rewarded also.
In brief, in your career of being a service professional, a trauma surgeon, and also being a professor, how have you seen the medical education change?
Very good question, Siddharth. Actually, there are many things has to be done in this country on this particular aspect. Because we are a growing nation, developing nation, we have been a poor nation earlier. We are improving now. There are many things has to be done at 3 levels. One is the human dignity, human respect, human equality, which nobody understands, which needs to be taught, which needs to be inculcated, which needs to be propagated, so that we understand the diversity, respecting the fellow human beings, and giving equal care to them. That is really not practiced over here or taught over here. Our people don't understand this particular concept. The newer generation certainly getting exposed to because of mass media invasion and the spread of education. But this certainly things lack. We call it a development of soft skills or human skills, which is being taught in all human resource people are being taught. So this is the first thing required. Second thing is safety in healthcare. So this safety, like in army, certainly army functions much better than the civil counterparts. Set aside the corporate healthcare, but certainly our healthcare in army is pretty protocol oriented and pretty. There is a standing orders for that. There are SOPs for everything. So we need an SOP in this part also in our curriculum and the teaching. So the safety, delivery of safe clinical care, that is very, very important. And third is people have very poor communication abilities. So people need to improve on that also, that like when doctor is talking to the patient, you should be able to explain that this drug has to be taken this way, this is the side effect, this will have this bad effect, you should come back this, you should inform this. So these are the 3 field which is lacking, which as a teacher, as a professor, I have been trying to make a spread this particular education to all my trainees, to all my students, and being administrator now, to all the people around me, that we have to practice this, we have to follow this.
So while I appreciate this answer, my original question was that over the 30 years, how have you seen medical education change? This I understand is your answer to what changes need to come, which was a follow-up question, but let's address what are the changes you have seen.
Yeah. So, this changes happens very slowly. And we being very vast countries, having 700 plus medical colleges, we have a National Medical Council, which is responsible for maintaining the kind of curriculum and the syllabus and the examination pattern. how the faculty will be selected, and how the so there is now nowadays a lot of stringent rules have been made, and they are trying to implement it, they are trying to improve it, that there is a, as I told you, those 3 points are still very relevant, and we are trying to inculcate that there is a safety in the medical delivery. People ought to offer a good human help to the needy people, needy and the sick people, and ought to have a good communication. So everything in today's time is going to be a protocol driven. And since this invasion of the internet, things available to everyone with this good communication and mobility, the world is very small. So at global level, what is being practiced outside, we are trying to implement this side. So everything has to be protocol oriented, safety oriented, precision oriented. So a lot of it research level also, we are trying to compete with the world people. So days are not far away. Things are improving with the rapid pace. A lot of newer gadgets have come. A lot of wearable machines have come, which are really helping the medical field go in a very faster way. A lot of new field of research like robotics and genetics and proteomics, nanotechnology, then augmented realities, virtual realities, 5G. So there are so many things which are going to make a huge difference in our so the whole medical curriculum and the practice is going to change, and we are also adopting in a very rapid way.
Right. Now I have to raise the biggest concern which plagues the country right now, which is the NEET examination. Right. About 24 lakh aspirants gave the exam this year. I have a very basic and direct question. Do you think this time's NEET calls for a retest?
This is my personal opinion. Whatever I got news through the TV and the newspaper, that at some particular spot there had been some kind of a connivance and something gone wrong. It doesn't mean it really requires a test, and this has been told by the Supreme Court also. So I think people need not make much hula balu about this particular case or situation. Government is doing the best, and I'm with the government. Whatever government is doing, I think they are doing the best. No retest required. The place where retest was required was already done. So I think things are completely under control, and we should have some patience, and it will be really evident. And I'm sure the government decision will is going to be really very positive.
Do you think the concept of grace mark should continue in such high pressure examinations?
I'm not aware about this particular how the grace marks works, how this is given. I do not know the complete dynamics of this particular thing, so I won't be able to comment on that. But one thing I can say, that no retest is required, and government is doing the best. I'm with the government.
If you could reform the examination process in NEET, what would you do?
So, yeah, it's a kind of a good question. I think now with this so much of working here and there, I think what is required is, as I said, you ought to have a vision, you ought to have that integrity, and you should ensure that the things are delivered in a way the way it is required. So, like in this particular case, some nefarious this. You cannot have a complete foolproof system. In examination, it is expected that it has to be really very foolproof system. Nobody can tamper. But if people are hell-bent, problem mongers are there. So I will, yeah, the digitalization, automation, that's the way to go forward in today's time, where everything can be detected, who's where the leak happened, what is the patch to be done, what damage control can be done, all those things. So I will give emphasis on more digitalization or automation is the answer for that.
Okay. Now, I read a wonderful line today, early morning today, and I was very hopeful that I could integrate this in today's conversation. And I think मेरे को वो मौका मिला है. Students and parents go beyond their ability in examinations concerning doctors and medical and engineering. Okay. People spend money, people go they invest everything that they have कि मेरा बेटा डॉक्टर या इंजीनियर बन जाए. How do you determine the worth of being a doctor? कि at some point someone should say, if you cracked it, great. If you don't, there are other fields also for you to pursue.
Since last 10, 12 years, maybe before that, there is a system of counseling in the class 10th, that which particular stream student has the capability and he wants to do like that. So probably at that's the juncture that should decide, not the parents should decide, But in India, customarily, we have been following whatever tradition, and we are obedient, and we listen our parents and things like that. But this mindset needs to be changed. We should always take help of the counselors. We should listen to the teachers and the school principals and the counselors. What do they say? How do they assess? And whatever they direct, whatever stream they. Because in today's time, medicine and engineering is not the only field. There are so many fields. If you don't become a doctor or engineer, you can still become a genetic scientist, which is a medical field. You can become a biomedical engineer, which is an engineering field. So there are so many alternatives in the life today, in today's time, the way various fields in the arts, commerce, and economics and other fields are coming up. Even like in field of computer, there is enormous possibilities. You can become a data scientist, you can become an analyst, you can become a programmer, you can become a entrepreneur, so many things. So limited to the pushing the young brain towards just medicine or engineering, that's not good. We should always rely on the child's attitude, performance, and overall whatever guidance comes from.
But sir, while you said about there should be counseling from parents and from schools, and these are happening perhaps at say urban areas or expensive fancy schools, वो गांव का सरकारी बच्चा क्या करेगा sir? What does he do? Because he is the main aspirant of this all.
Yeah, it's a very complex situation. But today, the TV and mobile has infiltrated everywhere. I think there is a equality now, and those teachers are also now being trained. Counselors are also being placed, and they are. So as I said, like just in the field of medicine, other field of education also, people are trying to have the same curricula everywhere, the same examination system where. So people are trying to bring everybody at equal level. So the counseling things are also available and people are aware about it. And even teachers are trained for this.
Right. Now, the degree, again, because you're speaking about degrees such as medical and being a doctor and being an engineer, it comes with a heavy burden again, and a lot of times students take extreme steps. In your tenure as the director of AIIMS Guwahati, or in general, what is AIIMS Guwahati doing to protect the mental health of students from doing this rigorous study that you have yourself done?
Yeah, new problems are cropping up now. Is people? There are few students who's got attendance. In our time, there used to be 100% attendance, at least 98% attendance. So attendance coming in some subjects 70%, some subject 80%, some subjects lesser than that. So that's becoming a challenge because people think by reading in mobile and internet they can crack the examination, or they will be based on everybody's got their own ulterior motive of and ways of cracking the examination. So they join online classes and marrows, and there are so many software. There are so many internet providers who are providing syllabus and covering those PG entrances and all that thing. But still, there are few percentage of students who are prone to anxiety, depression, little bit of substance abuse. I think every college campus, few percentage of students are affected and involved because it comes from the society, from your neighboring areas, and then it becomes a kind of a campus culture also. So we have a mentor-mentee program. We ensure that our student doesn't go into any stress. We are into the close contact with them, and right from the day one, like just like no ragging, or ragging is a crime or punishable crime, those kind of a thing. Your absenteeism, you have to repeat the class or you have to repeat the examination. All those things are made aware to the student. Still few students doesn't come to the classes. So there are few percentage of people who would love to repeat the class, would love to be going slow. So all sorts of combination is there. But from our institute, we ensure that we are running a mental health clinic also. We are running a research program related to this particular thing, that how much is the prevalence of smoking, how much prevalence of substance abuse, so how many people are having absenteeism. So everything is being analyzed, and we are working very closely so that nobody gets into the kind of a depression or suicidal thoughts or those kind of tendencies. I remember few colleges did face this kind of a problem. One odd episodic or sporadic incidences keeps happening. But since my arrival, we have been running well. Last 2 years, I didn't face such problems. But yes, class absenteeism is there. Little bit of tendency of smoke and going little astray are there, but we'll be able to curtail it.
Sir, where does AIIMS Guwahati fit into providing healthcare services for the entire Northeast?
Okay, that's a really question I have been waiting for. So, it's been just last year, 14th of April, it was inaugurated by Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji. And that, since that day, we've been running almost 29 departments, OPD, almost all major specialties concerned. We have provided almost OPD services to more than 3 lakhs people. And we've been running emergency and trauma also. There had been little bit of delay in installing few advanced equipments, which takes time. And at the same time, recruiting expert doctors needs a lot of effort, because those experts are really not available. They are in demand everywhere, like people from oncosurgery, the cancer surgeons, the gastroenterologists. So we are still looking for those specialties to come up. But rest of the specialties like general surgery, orthopedics, neurosurgery, urology, ophthalmology, ENT surgeries, gynecology, dermatology, psychiatry, dentistry, all those things are available over here. And we have the kiosk for the self-registration. We have the kiosk for the appointment for the various OPDs like that. So people from the Northeast are getting benefit from that. We are running immunization clinic. We are running women and child healthcare clinics. We are running a special neurological disabilities clinic. And we have another, like earlier people from Northeast used to go to Calcutta or Mumbai or Delhi for their yellow fever immunization. If you're traveling to the Brazil or those South American nations, then it is a mandatory. So people were going and getting, you have to travel, you have to wait, you have to take an appointment. So it was so cumbersome. So last year we opened a yellow fever immunization center, and it's just a walk-in service every Tuesday over here. And then in future, we'll be having all super specialty departments like advanced trauma care center, stroke management center, renal and liver transplant centers, cardiac catheterization, which is about to be established and start. It takes little time, but in next 2 or 3 years time, we'll be providing a care at your doorstep in the Northeast. And whole Northeast, it will work as a kind of a tertiary center where all complex cases will be managed over here.
Can I, sir, seek one absolute statement from you, perhaps? And my question here is AIIMS Guwahati equipped to treat all diseases like AIIMS Delhi?
Yeah, as I said, few specialties are rare to get. So, but I'm hopeful in 2 years' time I'll be able to get those talents also. Yes, so in 2 years' time, yes, all the facilities, whatever is available in AIMS Delhi, will be available over here. Okay, so we have already achieved probably 80% of those things, like giving a precision clinical care, which we are giving already, making of our doctors and the nursing officers, training them. We are the doctor making factory basically, and nursing officers making factory. So we are starting a nursing college this year. The 4th year of medical studies are already going on. 5th batch will be coming after this NEET things are over. We are already running a post graduation in almost all the specialties, and we'll be adding by next year January MCH and DM courses also. So in 2 years' time, certainly whatever is happening at AIIMS Delhi, because there is no difference in the rules, regulation, funding, and the kind of equipment.
It's only a matter of time.
It's just a matter of 2 years' time. Yeah.
Despite the fact that there is AIIMS Guwahati in this region, catering to this region, people still prefer to go outside for treatment. I'm not saying AIIMS Delhi or an AIIMS, anywhere outside. But this movement of people going outside for treatment, what is your view on?
I think it is all related to the affordability. Let me tell you what happens is there is group of people, they prefer to go to the corporate hospitals like Apollo, Fortis and all those places. That's a different sect of people, but all common people. This is basically a farmers' hospitals, laborers' hospital, the commoners' hospital, the lower middle class, which the India consists of maximum population. So this is for the commoners basically. And we are offering our 60% of the inpatients are offered free of cost treatment, doesn't cost anything. And whenever every public hospital is a crowded place because of our population is as such. So population is the problem. But as I said, 60 to 70% of our patients are getting free treatment, and this percentage might become higher once we open up fully. And I know the complete Northeast area, a lot of people are under Antyodaya Yojana, where they get a free ration also, or subsidized rations, and those are already automatically a candidate for Pradhan Mantri Ayushman Yojana, under which we give up to 5 lakhs to one family free of cost treatment. So a lot of population is already covered. So all needy people are covered by us. There is special group of people who go outside, and they will prefer outside because they try to avoid the kind of queue over here. They are not ready to wait for their operation. So if they can afford, they do it there.
They choose to bypass the queue because they can afford it.
Exactly.
All right. Is AIIMS better than GMCH?
At the moment, on certain aspects, we may be good. On certain aspects, they may be good.
It's a very deep.
No, we are not yet opened fully. In 2 years' time, certainly, you will be comparing us with any other AIIMS in the, like for making doctors. Like there are 700 medical colleges, and we just opened last year or 3 years back, and we are already 67th in the rank. The kind of this center being chosen by those toppers from those various categories. So that speaks volumes about it and importance of AIIMS. So AIIMS is a brand, okay, and we have 3 responsibilities: giving clinical care, making doctors, and doing the research. So research certainly will be on top. Clinical care will be on top, and education will be on top. all toppers, if you take the statistics, if I'm not wrong, when the NEET results comes out, those toppers will be preferring to joining AIIMS rather than the GMC. Of course, patient care is much better over there, which once we start over here, they might shift. We might be facing the crowd after 2 years, not at the moment.
Do you think availability of medicines is a concern in this region, in this market? Could be private, could be government, both.
No, not at all. Not at all. In today's time, everything is available everywhere.
As a trauma surgeon, sir, if I can draw from your experience, a lot of times surgeries are transferred from private to another private because they do not have requisite medicines here. Have you experienced this kind of situation? Because I have personally. Hence, I am seeking your.
No. Like we have a proper medical supply from the government side, from the PSUs like Amrit. We are not facing any crunch or any deficiency or crisis into that. And on top of that, we are providing free of cost to 60 to 70% of those Pradhan Mantri Ayushman Yojana Hitgrahis. So there is no dearth of and deficiency of the medicine. There is no dearth of fund also. It happens maybe outside certain stents and those joint replacement things, those may be not available, or maybe there are various ranges and various grades of things are available.
Okay, now this is a small comparative question. Places like Hyderabad are known for gastro treatment. Places in Patna are known for ortho treatment. Bombay is for cancer care, the Tata Memorial Institute. What do you think AIIMS Guwahati will see in its future, will be famous for? Is there a specialization that you would build AIIMS Guwahati for?
Yeah. As I said, in 2 years' time, we'll be having those stroke management center, which is going to be unique in this particular area where we have those advanced machines and the technical know-how and the person trained in this particular treatment, which not will be available into any other medical center. So similarly in a trauma care, similarly in a complex critical care, cardiac care, the cancer care, for everything we are going to have a expert. We are going to have all the wherewithals, all the modern gadgets, all the modern medicine and equipment. So the government also ensures that we are not short of any supplies, and we install the all modern gadgets. So nobody can really compare to us.
All right, sir. All right. And as we taper off this conversation, sir, just a couple of questions remain. Now, does AIIMS have Ayurvedic doctors?
Yeah, okay. So the government of India has, it's a mandate rather, to integrate alternative medicines like Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, Yoga, homeopathy, all these things. So that makes Ayush. So we already employed Ayurvedic doctor. We already employed yoga experts, so that there is a lifestyle modification in your diets, in your exercise, and it certainly works. And there are people with the fibromyalgias, there are people with the joint problems, backaches, little bit of stress, depression. All those people, they all benefit from the yoga and meditation. Some people get benefit from those Ayurvedic. They have the various therapies. We are installing those equipments. We are already running a formulary for the Ayurvedic medication also. So we are trying to integrate, and that will also expand in future, and they will bring in some good research outcomes also based on the kind of patient we get. We'll be researching and analyzing the data that how this Ayurvedic integration is helping the population. So certainly it is proven after the COVID, people have realized the importance of alternative therapies, and it's really spreading like anything, not over in India, all over.
In the consideration of alternative treatments, because yoga is there, what do you think is the future of yoga in this country and at AIIMS Guwahati also?
What yoga has got can affect and can it's just matter of adoption and believing it. it affects your psyche, your, like when you're not doing yoga, you may be suffering from, suppose you are a kind of a anxious guy. So when you train your mind, when you start exercising, when you start concentrating, when you start a special breathing technique, a yogic diets, so there is a therapy for everything. There is a guidance for everything, that what you should be eating, how you should be sleeping, what should be your posture on the chair. you know uh, when we grow with the aging, your joints become stiff and immobile, you start losing strength and the tone of the muscles. So all things can be gained back by this various yoga postures. And so there are various exercises, and there are advices for your breathing technique, eating, your food, your sleep. For everything there is a, I think it brings a lot of positive change in life, especially once you concentrate and control your brain or your mind and your thoughts, which is given a lot of importance and emphasis on this particular things. It certainly the adaptability among population and the people is increasing. It's not among only among the old people, but all young people also. It's really makes a lot of change.
And the one final question for our conversation today, sir. If you could give your younger self a piece of advice, what would you have said?
Okay, so always be optimistic, eat well, sleep well, exercise well, be focused, be resilient. Uh, put your heart and mind into the whatever profession you have chosen to. And I think the word, two things I must say. Okay, stay optimistic. That's the first thing I tell everyone. And second thing is, in your human life, if you could be altruistic, every human life, there's the highest form of living life on this earth. So if you could help fellow human being, if you could do some good things in your life, I think that should be your aim, our goal. And that happens when you respect other fellow person, when you have a helping attitude to your fellow, or neighbor, or brother, or cousins, or friends, like that. So these two things I will tell: be optimistic, be altruistic.
Take it, sir. All right. Thank you so much for your time. I had a wonderful conversation.
My pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you to the team.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. For everyone who's watching this, thanks for sticking to the end of the episode. Once again, if you're watching the Gplus YouTube channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. And I'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate.